Hi, welcome to our electromagnetic theory course. In today's class, we will discuss about Gauss law applications or applications of Gauss law. Before entering into the topic, in last class, in last two videos, we derived electric field intensity due to infinite line charge, electric field intensity due to infinite seat of charge. So, electric field intensity due to infinite line charge, this one is nothing but what? E is equal to rho L by 2 pi epsilon rho A rho. Rho L is the line charge density, rho is the perpendicular distance from the line charge placed along z axis, A rho is the unit vector along that perpendicular distance from the reference axis, that is z axis. Okay, and already we discussed about this electric field intensity due to point charge is nothing but what? E equal to q by 4 pi epsilon r square AR, or else epsilon is nothing but, here we consider epsilon naught. And in the previous video or last video, we discussed what? Electric field intensity due to infinite seat of charge is nothing but what? E equal to rho s by 2 epsilon naught AN, rho s by 2 epsilon naught AN. And coming to this one, it is what? Electric field intensity due to volume charge. Electric field intensity due to volume charge, it is nothing but what? E equal to q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square AR, which is similar to what? This equation 1. This is equation, okay, equation 4. That equation 1, both are same. Means what? Electric field intensity due to volume charge is same as the electric field intensity due to point charge. Okay. Of course, in case of the volume charge, means it is a volume. In this, at each and every point we have the charge. Okay, this charge is located at each and every point in this space. Okay, this charge is treated as what? Point charge. So that's why electric field intensity due to volume charge is same as what? This one and this one, both are same. Electric field intensity due to volume charge is same as the electric field intensity due to the point charge. The charge in the volume is treated as what? A point charge. So that's why electric field intensity due to volume charge is same as the electric field intensity due to point charge. Up to now, what we discussed? E due to point charge, U due to line charge, E due to seat of charge, E due to volume charge. What are the types of the charges? Point charge. And coming to the continuous type of continuous charge distribution. So we have line charge, seat of charge, that means surface charge, and volume charge. Means we derived electric field intensity due to point charge, line charge, surface charge, and volume charge. Coming to this one, what it is? It is Gauss law. In today's class, we will discuss about this thing, Gauss law and its applications. Okay, in the video, I think the title of the video is Electric Flux Density and Maxwell's Equations. In that, we discussed this Gauss law. Please refer that video. What is the statement of the Gauss law? Total electric flux through a closed surface. Total electric flux through a closed surface. This closed surface is equal to charge enclosed by that volume. Okay. Here closed surface defines what? Volume. Already we discussed in divergence theorem. Divergence theorem is used to convert closed surface integral into volume integral. Okay. And this Gauss law also relates this electric flux. It is nothing but effect. This electric flux is due to what? This charge. This charge is nothing but what? Cause. Means Gauss law relates this cause and effect. What is the cause? Charge. What is the effect? Electric flux. Electric flux is produced due to this charge. So that's why it is the cause to produce this electric flux. Means Gauss law relates that this electric flux and that charge. Means this relates cause and effect. Of course, it also relates that closed surface and volume. We know that closed surface defines a open volume. Mathematically, this Gauss law can be written like this. That is, what is this psi? Psi means electric flux. Electric flux is represented by psi. Psi t means what? Total electric flux through a closed surface is equal to charge enclosed by the volume. This is all about the statement of Gauss law. Coming to the applications of Gauss law. Okay, these are the applications of the Gauss law. Gauss law and its applications. By using Gauss law, we can find E due to point charge. Okay, that is E is nothing but what? Due to point charge. E equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square into AR. Okay, and E due to infinite line charge. What is E? Of course, E bar, that is what? Rho L by 2 pi epsilon naught rho into A rho, and E due to infinite seat of charge, that is E equal to what in this case? For this case, okay, E equal to what? Rho S by 2 epsilon naught into AN, and last one E due to uniformly charged sphere. We need to discuss this thing. Okay, we derived these things, and we know that electric field intensity due to volume charge is same as the point charge. These derived, this equation, this one and this one derived by using what? Coulomb's law. By using what? Coulomb's law. Now we can derive this expression, that is E equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon naught R square AR for the point charge. For line charge like this, E equal to rho L by 2 pi epsilon naught rho A rho, and this equation by using what? Gauss law. Means what? Gauss law is an alternative form of Coulomb's law. Okay, this derivation, to derive this one, okay, I had taken around 48 minutes of lecture for this one, and for this one I had taken 44 minutes. Here 48 minutes. Okay, if it is hours, please correct it. It is 48 minutes roughly, and it is 44 minutes. But by using this Gauss law, we can simply derive this one within 5 minutes. For this one 5 minutes, for this one 5 minutes. Within 10 minutes, two topics over, or two derivations over, by using Gauss law. That is the specialty of Gauss law. Of course, to apply Gauss law, we need to consider what? Symmetrical charge distribution. Please remember, in order to apply Gauss law, we need to consider what? We need to consider symmetry of charge distribution, or else symmetrical charge distribution. Symmetry of charge distribution. Symmetry of charge distribution. Symmetry of charge distribution. This symmetry of charge distribution depends on, in Cartesian coordinate system, it depends on x or y or z in Cartesian coordinate system. First one means Cartesian coordinate system. In cylindrical coordinate system, symmetry of charge distribution depends upon rho only. And third one, in case of the, we have three types of basic coordinate system: Cartesian coordinate system, cylindrical coordinate system, and third one is spherical coordinate system. To apply Gauss law, that means symmetry of charge distribution depends on what? In case of spherical coordinate system, R only. We can easily remember rho is radius. Okay, if you want to apply the symmetry of charge distribution for Gauss law, symmetry of charge distribution depends on only rho. Symmetry of charge distribution in spherical coordinate system only on R, and whereas in case of the Cartesian coordinate system, symmetry of charge distribution on x or y or z, x, y, z. Okay, whereas rho only, here R only. Clear? Means what? If you want to apply the symmetrical charge distribution, we need to consider, in case of the spherical coordinate system, field component. Let us say, actually in Gauss law, mathematically what is Gauss law? Gauss law is nothing but what? Psi equal to Q enclosed. Okay, it is in point form. In integral form, psi, this electric flux can be represented as what? In terms of the flux density like this, that is integral d dot ds. Q enclosed is what? Let us say like this. Okay, means what? Here you have the field component, that is d. D should be taken along r direction only in case of the spherical coordinate system. In case of cylindrical coordinate system, d should be taken along rho direction only. Means you need to take what? If it is cylindrical coordinate system, d should be taken as what? Like this, that is d rho a rho, normally outward. Okay, plane should be what? Phi z plane in case of the cylindrical coordinate system. In case of spherical coordinate system, D should be taken as what? dr ar. It should be normally outward, radially outward in case of spherical coordinate system. Sphere means like this. So these are the radial components. Radially outward. Let us take this plane, this entire plane. This one is radially outward, or else it is normal to this board. This marker is normal to this board or perpendicular to this board. That is the meaning of the normal. Okay. We need to consider the normal component along r direction, along a rho direction in case of the cylindrical. In case of the Cartesian, no need to worry about that symmetry, because x, y, z all are same. The range of x, y, z is same. Of course, x is measured, the unit of, okay, if x, that is distance, y is also distance, z is also distance. Along x, y, z we can measure distances only. Whereas in case of cylindrical and spherical, we need to consider D component, field component. It may be D or E, electric field E, or else electric flux density D. We need to consider these components along rho or R only. Okay, we will discuss about this symmetry of charge distribution in depth in coming lecture. Okay, in today's class what we discussed? Gauss law and its applications introduction. Symmetry of charge distribution in Cartesian coordinate system depends on x, r, y, or z. In cylindrical it depends on rho only. In spherical it depends on r only. This is all about today's. Okay, this is all about for this video. We will meet in next lecture.